I started this project with three general ideas in my head about what it means to be human: family, success, and creation. Then I did a bit of thinking and a bit of research, and I realized that none of these work, because in some form or another, animals have them all, and what it means to be human must be entirely different from what it means to be an animal, right? Then I did a lot of writing and a lot more thinking and ended up with a very scholarly, scientifically correct work that aligns with the philosophies of our time. It was totally right. It was dead boring. So I scrapped it, and I'm going back to where I started. Family has always been very important to me, probably because I've seen what life is like without a strong one. My parents divorced when I was 3, and my mom remarried when I was 5. Now I live a double life, half the week with my dad and half the week with my mom, my stepdad, heretofore referred to as Brady, my 2 stepbrothers Nels and Rye, and my little sister Stella. Life is peaceful at my dad's house, most of the time, with us coexisting in harmony. When I'm there, I never get that warm glow inside I get from eating out on the porch with my family, with Rye annoying Stella, and Stella yelling at Rye, and me trying not to look like I'm reading under the table. At my dad's house, I never get the same feeling I get when I'm walking Stella home from school, and she challenges me to an impromptu game of hopscotch, or when I walk in on Mama and Brady hugging in the kitchen, and they hold out their arms to hug me too. These moments aren't perfect, but they are moments of true connection to the people around me. People I love. These are the moments that I will remember when I am old and gray. I think that this drive, this need to love and be loved, to be connected with others, is an important part of the human experience. Success has also always been a hot topic for me, again because I have personal experience with it. My mom and Brady, heretofore referred to as my dad, have achieved success in 2 very different ways. My mom has owned a frame shop on the Ave for 25 years. She enjoys what she does. She loves to work with her hands and create art and beautiful things. If this wasn't her job, it would be her hobby. However, if we were just living on the money she makes, we would be living in a modest apartment in a very different neighborhood. The reason we're able to live in our nice house in Maple Leaf is my dad. He works for a big tech company and makes enough money for us to maintain our lifestyle. However, he hates what he does. He works nearly as much as my mom, not out of love, like her, but out of fear. Fear of losing his job, fear of not being able to maintain our lifestyle, fear of not being able to support our family. If he loved what he did, he would be fixing and restoring old motorcycles and cars, and we would be living in that same modest apartment. Looking at both of them, I have to ask myself, who is more successful? And, more importantly, which path do I want my life to take? I still haven't answered that question, but the real importance is in the fact that I have to ask it in the first place. That we can define success in different ways, that we can choose the path our life takes. To be human is to have that choice, that ability to fulfill different roles in society and pursue different goals in life. About twice a year, my mom sits down at our very well-used kitchen table with a sheet of nice paper and some oil pastels. We're not allowed to disturb her until she says so, which is often the next morning at breakfast, when she will be sitting at the same place she was the night before, leaving us wondering if she ever moved. In the morning, we all get to crowd around her and see her newest masterpiece. Masterpiece perhaps isn't the right word, for they're simple pieces, usually portraying human figures with some degree of abstraction. However, they're not hotel art. They depict interesting themes, often around family. They're the sort of pieces you want to keep looking at, not to examine hidden details, but just because looking at them makes you feel good. My dad creates things too. He writes books for his work and builds motorcycles from scratch. In middle school, I created cards, experimenting with techniques like collage, stamp making, embossing, and combining the 3. Now I create programs, games you can play, and apps you can use, all created through thousands of lines of code. Is either of those methods of creativity more valid than the other? I personally don't think so, but there's a world of debate on that subject. What's important here, though, is that all humans have this urge to create, not just temporary things for a specific purpose, but things that will last long after they are dead and have no real purpose for survival. All humans have this drive, whether they express it by writing or making art or inventing or just simply by having babies. This is part of what it means to be human. The drive to achieve a sort of immortality by creating something that will be around long after you are dead. So here, from what I have read and experienced, is what I think it means to be human. To need to have connections to others around us, to have the ability to choose our path in life, and to have the drive to create things that will last longer than we will. I don't believe this is a complete answer, and don't believe I will ever obtain one, but at least I know that what I have written here is the truth, as I see it. However, this is a very hard question you gave us. So naturally, my first reaction was to search Google for, what does it mean to be human? And you know what the first result was? Human. Adjective. Of, relating to, or characteristic of people or human beings. However, past that, it was a slew of opinions, every single one different. Some thought that to be human is to be a base being, forever tied to sin and hurt. Some thought that to be human is to be enlightened, able to believe in a higher power and create marvelous culture. Some thought that to be human is to have an innate sense of right and wrong. Some thought that to be human is to be forever hypocritical. In the end, there were too many results to sort through, so I decided to do my own research. My 8-year-old sister said that what it means to be human is to live and play and be happy and make cupcakes. My 16-year-old friend said that it is to be able to improve yourself as a person. My 54-year-old dad said that it is to always have someone to live for, to feel loved. My 80-year-old grandma just asked me, does life have to have a meaning? Can't you just live it? Who is right? All of them? None of them? Maybe. Currently, I'm most inclined to agree with my grandma, because really, living is the most important. Living in your head, in thoughts, theories, and philosophies really doesn't count. But besides, if you figure out what it means to be human, what then? You're still human. You still have to live. Perhaps we exist because we have the ability to contemplate our existence, as Descartes said, but we don't have to contemplate our existence to be happy. So, to conclude, I leave you simply with the words of my little sister.
Live and play and be happy and make cupcakes.